Cool. Well, hey, man, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for welcoming me in the podcast.
Yeah, you bet. I love there's so much going on as a writer and a poet, a truth speaker. I want to begin our journey with this. 5 years ago, this pandemic was raging, and Italy was one of the early epicenters. But at the end of the day, how did you get through the pandemic of 2020, and how has it affected you now in 2025?
Luckily, I was in Australia. It was pretty
Okay.
bad in Australia as well. I was in Melbourne at the time, and luckily I was studying online. I was studying sport and fitness online, so I kept myself busy
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
I got through it pretty well. It didn't affect me that much. Um, Having worked as a personal trainer, I realized how much affected people, um, whether negatively or positively. I feel there wasn't a gray area. It was either black or white for people. So they either, got themselves, into fitness, health, or they just derail completely, even mentally. So, witnessing that after the pandemic, dealing with people and coaching them, I've seen, both ends of the spectrum for sure.
So let's get to the heart and soul of what you do right now in 2025. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of kids. They always get the truth out of us. They're 12-year-olds. It's career day. And one of them is like, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you answer that child?
I am a truth receiver. I am not a seeker anymore. I receive truth. Um, I've got projects going on, so I'm working on my book. I'm going through the developmental editing of my first book. I'm doing my best to live an authentic life, in the small details, in the moments of mundane life. I still work within the fitness environment, not face to face anymore, but online. So I coach people to reach, body composition goals, fitness goals. Um, so this is this is what's my life's about at the moment.
So when you were 12 years old, what was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a gelato maker
Okay, right on. Which
and a
is,
football player, as in soccer.
yeah, 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 yeah. So let me ask you this. Take me back to your childhood. Where were you born and raised? What were these foundational elements of sport, writing, finding the truth, all of these elements that have contributed to who you are?
I was raised in Parma. It's a city in Italy, in the northern Italy. I began playing football at age 4, so pretty early. And truth, I would say I've always been a introverted, shy kid, and I had to learn my extroversion skills later in life. And now I've begun to use them as a tool to express. I've always been, again, shy, so struggling to express my emotions, struggling to express my creative self. So having worked with ayahuasca last year opened me up to the gift of my childhood in a sense, and I was able to tap back into them um, and to live and to connect with my inner child, and to care for him after years of neglecting him. And now I'm able to unconditionally love him and to let him guide me, with presence through the next stages of my life.
So let me ask you this. As a writer, what was the book for you growing up? What was one of your favorite books?
Um, The Little Prince.
Yeah,
Yeah, The Little Prince. I've read it a few times.
yeah,
I can't remember it now. I've begun to read it again last month.
yeah,
I forgot all about it.
yeah.
So, but yeah.
So let me ask you this. Who's been a hero for you? Who's been that inspirational force for you to find yourself and define your meaning in life?
I've always been I've always looked up to athletes, elite athletes, those type of people that they've left a legacy, like, MJ, Kobe Bryant, these kind of names. And I've always been fascinated by their mindset when it came to sport, because I was playing sport, but when it came to life as well, what they left outside of their sport. So I don't have I can't name one hero. It's a multitude of people that they influence my perception of life, my mindset, my attitude.
So if you could meet one of those figures, one of those people that's still alive on the planet right now, and ask him some questions and spend some time with him, who would it be?
It's a great question. I've asked myself that question a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I would say I would say the first name that came to mind, it was Simon Sinek.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, yeah, it would be him.
Yeah.
And later into adulthood, The Infinite Game, the book he wrote, it's been the most influential for my life. So I would sit at the table with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. As someone that's a truth seeker, do you believe that there's a meaning of life? Do you believe there's one thing ultimately when we get to the end of the day, whether it's right now or towards the end of our lives, that we find that there's one true meaning?
Um, I haven't got to that place yet, I would say. I think life, I can reflect back and I can imagine what the future will be. I feel life it's composed of different phases and stages. Um, they all mean something in our spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental growth. I'm 100% sure of that. Whether there's a big ultimate meaning to it, um, I can't say it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What's the best advice you've ever gotten in your life?
The best advice that I ever got from someone else.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty stubborn when people give me advice. I take them in. I evaluate them, see if they fit with my perception, my personality. Um, but probably it sounds cliche, but be yourself.
Yeah. So the one thing about growing and evolving in this life is taking risks. Of everything that you've done in your life, what's the biggest risk that you've ever taken?
I don't see life as taking risks. I used to,
Yeah.
and I used to get great pride from it, but I've changed my perspective. I don't see, for example, I've left my motherland in 2018, and people saw it as a risk, because I was living an established career as a semi-professional football player. I had a job. I was getting two incomes every month. I was doing well for myself, but I left that to listen to my soul. So to me, it wasn't a risk. It was a risk for people who were external to me. And I've done it again a few months ago by leaving Australia when I had an established career and as a personal trainer, and had my path into eventually becoming a citizen in Australia. Um, but eventually I've turned out pivoting on that as well, coming back to Italy. And also people, they saw it as a risk, because why would someone live such a beautiful career in fitness, to return to my motherland and, getting back to family dynamics that I didn't necessarily want to be part of, but I felt responsible in a way. So I don't see that as a risk at all. I see that as listening to your soul, listening to guidance, listening to your intuition. Whether you call it God or not, that's up to you. But yeah, I don't see it as a risk at all. It does take courage, yes, but it's not a risk.
So let me ask you this. How have you over the years found that work-life balance? What's your philosophy on doing your job well and taking care of your own soul? How does that work for you?
Um, I think balance comes when you are tuned in to your intuition. So we all need to pay more attention to the signs that our body give us, and not to and try not to make everything such a logical process. I found my balance in being able to do what I love in a way without having the reward of money on the other side, and to find other ways to make an income, and to at least this is what I'm trying to work towards, to keep what I love outside of business, and to find other ways to make money, because at the end of the day we all need to survive. So my balance at the moment is writing, which is lighting up my soul, and it is something that's building momentum, that's keeping me curious and engaged. And I know that eventually I will get my reward, whether it's money, whether it's something else. I will be open to receive whatever that is, and to train with a purpose. So to physical train my body with a purpose and with goals, um, that are not deriving from what society wants me to do. Well, when it comes to aesthetics, um, or like having strength, having power. So this is where I found my balance.
So as an athlete, I'm curious, what's the most intense game that you've ever played in? One of the best games you've ever played in? And what is one of the most intense or best games you've ever witnessed without being an athlete, just watched it?
I would say today I've witnessed a sport event. It was online. It wasn't live. Um, One of the best, was the Hyrox, World Championships.
Yeah.
It's a fitness race. I've witnessed a few NBA games when I was in the States. I've witnessed soccer games in Argentina. Seeing playing Boca Junior live, that was probably up there, top three experiences of my life. Um, So I would say, the Argentinian one was probably the best, and one of the toughest game or events I've ever played. Um, they are yet to come, because I'm planning to do a marathon this year and to compete twice in the Hyrox, as I said before. So I know they will come. Football, it was a passion. So yes, game were tough, but it was always fun.
So when you go to an intense football match like that, like you mentioned Argentina, is the energy and the intensity just way, way high the whole time?
The intensity of the game of the players was not good, I should
Okay.
say.
Okay.
The European football is it's much higher in intensity,
Yeah.
but the heat from the people, the passion from the people, you can't surpass that.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing. I've been into the stadium for 2 hours and there was not one single second of silence.
Wow.
It was all like a beating rhythm, and you can feel the city vibrating, not just the football game. Yeah.
That's wild. So of everything that you've done in your life, everything you've evolved to, what are you ultimately the proudest of?
I'm proud of following my intuition. I'm proud of I'm proud of doing my best to sit with my emotions and but not to identify with them. Um, and in a way to let them guide me into what I need to do, because I believe that manifestation is your ability to be present. It's not, playing games with your mind and making yourself believe things that are not true, or making yourself believe in a better future when your present moment doesn't feel that good. That's what I'm the most proud of.
So at the end of the day, everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am everything and nothing. I am black and white. I am the creator and the destroyer. Um, that's my answer.
So when is the book going to be out?
So hopefully within the end of this year.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
doing the developmental editing now, so it's going to be 2 or 3 rounds of back and forth until I'm happy with the unpolished product,
Okay.
with the authentic product. Um, yes, so hopefully my birthday is November, so hopefully I can get it done um, on my birthday.
Okay. So if anyone wants to reach out, they have any questions, that any of the good business, where's the best place for people to go?
My Instagram page, I have two, one for fitness and the other one where I create. I share poetry, I share updates on my book. So the name is Cristiano.Colla for the creative one. For the fitness one, it's the same and adding .pt. So Cristiano.Colla.pt.
Cristiano, this has been wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Joey.
Thank you. Looking to get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code Joe Dimino 10 at www.agencyyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyyy.org/emailmarketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.